nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
Joseph and David. So what we're going to do is look at some things, because y'all know who David is, because we're part of the tabernacle of David. One thing that was big that the Most High put on rebirth, he resurrected the tabernacle of David through here, through this order. You see what I'm saying? But it's crazy how Joseph, he's from the northern kingdom, but David parallels Joseph in a lot of ways. For example, Joseph's older brothers, they go away from their home. Remember Joseph's oldest brothers, all the other tribes, patriarchs of Israel? They go away from home. Remember in the last Torah portion, they went away from home to Dothan. They were supposed to go to Shechem, but they were in Dothan. And what happened? His dad sent them out, who was Israel, sent Joseph out to go check on his brothers. Y'all remember that? The same thing was with David. Similar thing was with David. David's brothers was out at war. And his dad literally sent David to go check on his brothers. Y'all know that? David literally sent, Jesse, his dad literally sent David to check on his brothers. Oh, no, that ain't it. I got it in not the best order. Here it goes. Shemuel Rishon, 1 Samuel 17, it says, Then Jesse said to his son David, Take now for your brothers an ephah of this dried grain and these 10 loaves, and run to your brothers at the camp, and carry these 10 cheeses to the captain of their 1,000, and see how your brothers fare, and bring back news of them. David was sent out to check on his brothers and come back and bring a report of them. That's what it means by bring back news. Y'all notice when y'all watch the news, they say, we're coming with a report. I'm a reporter bringing you news. So it was the same thing in, y'all remember in the last Torah portion where Joseph, he had told, Israel or Jacob told Joseph to go check on your brothers and bring back a report of them. Tell me how they're doing. Y'all see how crazy that is? That's not by coincidence, right? Another thing that I wanted y'all to pay attention to here is that you see the number 10 a lot here. So when you see two stories that are in the scriptures, so this is the Ruach. When you see two stories that are correlated together in the scriptures, that means they're related to each other. That's like, oh yeah, right, duh, right? But also even the little details a lot of times are related to each other. You see what I'm saying? So it says, Take now for your brother an ephah of this dry grain and these 10 loaves, and run to your brothers at the camp and carry 10 cheeses, 10 pieces of cheese. You see the number 10 in there, right? It even said an ephah of this dry grain. What is an ephah? What is it, Nathaniel? Shemot 16:36. An omer is 1/10 of an ephah. So if you flip it around, an ephah is 10 omers. 10 omers. Y'all get it? So it was 10. What this is saying is that it was the number 10 all in this verse. The number 10 was all up in. Number 10 was in here. The number 10 was all up in here. So what is it showing? Well, the number 10 is symbolic of what? What was the number 10 symbolic of? The commandments. So it's obedience to the commandments. Or it could be on the negative side, disobedience to the commandments. For example, there was 10 plagues right in Egypt. There was 10 plagues. Because Pharaoh was disobedient to Yahuwah. His heart was hardened. So it's a double side to a lot of aspects in the scriptures. But the number 10 is obedience or disobedience is the negative side. But it's about the commandments. That's what it's about. The number 10 is also, because we said the commandments, which is the what? Word. So the number 10 is about the word. Let me give y'all an example. The Yom Kippur is on what day? The 10th day, right? It's on the 10th day of the 7th month, and it's about those who are obedient being covered, while those who are disobedient being destroyed. That's what the Day of Atonement is about, for real. Like, for real, we've been talking about this for years, so y'all should know that part. And it's on the 10th day. That makes sense? Pesach. There's something around the 10 surrounding the Pesach. Does anybody know anything around the number 10 surrounding Pesach? Oh, snap. Okay, look, if you know this, you're going to have to get like a prize or something. You got to get something. So you sure? You ready?
The Pesach lamb was a commandment that was given right before the 10th plague rolled out.
Oh, no, that ain't what I was looking for, but that's true. That ain't what I was looking for. You was close. But you are right, though. You are right. I didn't even think about that. That actually ties into what I was thinking, though.
The Pesach lamb was captured on the 10th day, and
man, buy down weed, man. That be on it. All right. So did y'all hear that? So he didn't say it 100% like exactly how, but he's right. I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna have to get some sort of prize or something. Because on the 10th day of the first month is when the lamb or goat, Yom Kippur was chosen to be sacrificed. That's when the lamb was chosen, was on the 10th day of the first month. That's going to be, whoever's going to be the Pesach for that year, they have to be chosen on that 10th day. The number 10 is about the word. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's about the word. So it's about obedience, but it's about the word, y'all. All right. So it's interesting that Jesse has sent Dawid. If y'all know, 1 Samuel 17 is when Dawid ended up killing Goliath, if y'all know about that chapter. But this is what happened prior to all that happened, is that Jesse had told Dawid to send him 10 loaves of bread, 10 cheeses, and then look what else it says. Send 10 cheeses to the captain of their 1,000. What is 1,000? That's 10 times 10 times 10 to the 100, 10 times 10 100 times, right? That's 10 100 times. So that's like the perfection of 10. So y'all remember when we were, I think, in the mid-range, most of y'all were on the mid-range when Maury was talking about, there's something about this 10,000 of 10,000s. There's something about it. That's what it's about, y'all. Y'all don't remember when Maury? Oh, they weren't listening. On the mid-range, y'all don't remember that? Maury was like, man, there's something about the 10,000s. All right, that's all right. But when you look in the scriptures, you'll see 10,000 mentioned a lot. For example, there was a scripture where it says Saul killed his thousands, but David killed his 10,000s. It was a whole song from that. That's what caused Saul to be jealous of David, because the Achio was singing a song. He had all the females. Like Saul thought he was the man. Because Saul was like LeBron James. He was tall and strong and big, soldier for the Most High, and he didn't care. He didn't bar nobody. He was ready to cut somebody down on behalf of Israel. So Saul, he was a soldier, and everybody loved him. But then he had liked David because David killed Goliath, and he had made David his top soldier. He had made David his top general. And then David started going harder than him. Saul, old Doc. He about, I'm saying, if I was I'm guessing. But he not young though. Saul probably in his 40s. This is a guess, but he older is what I'm saying. And now David, the young Ak, you know, David, he 18, 19, 20, and he mashing on it. He mashing on the heathen. He mashing on the heathen. And so the female starts singing the song. Saul killed his thousands. David killed his 10,000s. Saul should have been looking at him as a son and been proud of him. You know what I'm saying? I know because I got sons. You know what I'm saying? I remember when, you know what I'm saying? My sons was younger, but I've been talking about racing, everything. I was beating them in everything. Come on, let's race. Come on, let's get it. They way back there. I'm like, yeah, you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I remember by the time they became teenagers, by the time they were about 13, I noticed they was getting close. I'm like, but I was still winning. I'm like, yeah, you feel me? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, y'all need to see what's happening. See what I'm saying? Y'all not fast like me. But by the time they was about 17, boy, they said, oh, man, look here, man. Look, I'll try my best, you know what I'm saying? But I was actually happy. I was like, oh, snap. Yeah, okay. All praise to the Most High. Even Ema was whooping them. Ema was whooping them in racing. What else? Ema was fast, though. When they was about, man, when they was about 11, Ema would race them. Ema would race them, boy. I don't remember you beating me now. I don't remember that.
There you go.
That's a great answer. But man, look here. By the time, especially Radai Yahoo, boy, by the time he was about 17, boy, look here. Man, I don't know what it is. I still thought I was fast, but it didn't. My mind didn't. It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work out. And then basketball, everything. We used to play basketball, mashing them all day. It was easy work. Yeah. What's happening? Yeah, you see that? Yeah. And by the time they were about 17, boy, 16, 17, right, man, look here. Y'all got it. Yeah, y'all got that. But I actually was happy, though, to see that. That's the point. I was happy, like, man, okay, yeah, you all praise to the Most High. But Saul, it was different with him, man. He was really caught up in himself, so he actually got mad when Dawid overtook him as far as in war, when it should have been about, it's just about, man, Israel being strong enough to continue to have dominion over the heathen. That should have been what it all mattered, but Saul, no. When they said David has killed his 10,000, I submit that was very ruachal, because what it was showing was he was able to kill his 10,000s because of his obedience. Because of his obedience. Because of his submission. Because David was a man of the word. Because the number 10 is about the word. You know what I'm saying? Number 10 is about the word. Number 10 is about submission, obedience, etc., etc. All right. So what this showed right here is that Dawid was about his father's business. That's what it was showing, that Dawid was about doing the work of his father. Jesse was someone who was giving his children over to the duties of Yisrael. That's why all his sons were at war for the nation. All his sons. That's why we don't realize how man, y'all never wonder why Jesse is mentioned in the scriptures the way he is?
Seed of Jesse.
Isaiah 11, the seed of Jesse, the branch of, it's Jesse was important to Yahuwah. Jesse was through in Yahuwah's sight, man. Wow. Because Jesse was someone who was serious about offering up his sons. Jesse was someone who was real about offering up his sons. Yahuwah blessed him with 7 sons. He offered them all up to the Most High. to the ways of the nation, to the ways of the kingdom. And so the Most High used Jesse and his seed to continue what he was doing. He used Jesse and his seed to be a part of the bloodline of Yahusha. I know Jesse thought it had to be one of his older brothers, man, his older sons. And Samuel was like, nah. He's like, it's none of these people here. He's like, for real? He's like, man. And Samuel, he was just like, I mean, that's it? You don't have any other sons? I mean, yeah. I mean, I got one that, you know, he down, he down there keeping the sheep, you know. All right, let's just try. Let's go over to him. He went over to him. Yahuwah was like, yeah, he the one. Dad Dawid. The least expected, y'all. The youngest, the smallest. That's Joseph. That's yourself. That's what I'm trying to show y'all, man. Yeah. Yosef was the one that the father called, that the one that the father chose. He had the coat of many colors, all that. But he was one of the youngest. He was the smallest. He was 17. All his older brothers was grown men. Yosef was loved because it said he was the child of his old age, of Israel's old age. Jesse, I submit, was probably David's child of his old age. For real. Did I say it different? David was Jesse's child of his old age. Yeah, my apologies. David was Jesse's child of his old age. I'm glad y'all corrected me because I don't even be noticing that. And then I look at the video, I'll be like, oh, I said, man, I mixed it up. Same thing as Joseph, though. What I'm saying is that what Joseph's story is about, it's about us, man. Something happened to where we ended up being like moving in that same vein as prophetically as Joseph. Even though Joseph from the northern kingdom, you didn't really see on that level with the northern kingdom that happening prophetically like it did with the Yahudim, especially the sons of Dawid. Think about it. Y'all read the book of Daniel? Yeah. What happened with Daniel? He was someone who could interpret dreams like Joseph. Daniel from the tribe of Judah. He probably a descendant of David, man. He from the tribe of Judah because he was of the nobility. He was probably a descendant of David because he was of the nobility. That's why the Babylonians had took him and wanted to actually train him up in the ways of Babylon because they only had the nobility of Yehuda to do that, to train him in that way. Daniel wasn't from Ephraim or Manasseh. He was from the Yahudim. But Daniel somehow had the same skill as Joseph. He could interpret dreams. And because of that, he ended up being raised up as the leader in Babylon, just like Joseph. Y'all know that story, huh? Y'all know about that, right? When he saw the visions and all those things that happened, then he became a leader because he interpreted the dreams for Nebuchadnezzar. That didn't follow Ephraim after Joseph. That ended up somehow getting attached to the Yahudim. Could it have been because Yehuda said, I'm going to take his place? Something must have happened when Yehuda ended up interceding and saying, I'm going to take his place. Yeah. David was about his father's business. He was super obedient and submitted to the instructions. That's why you see the 10 here so many times. The same was the case with Yosef. All right. Yosef was a shepherd of his family's flock. The same was the case with Dawid. But now, Yahoo, give me 1 Samuel 17, verse 15. You got a mic?
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 15. But Dawid occasionally went and returned from Shaul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem.
Y'all see that? Wasn't that the same thing with Yosef? Joseph was a shepherd who kept the flocks of his father. He was about his father's business. Remember what Yahusha told Kepha? He said, "Feed my sheep." He said, "Feed my sheep, keep my sheep." It's about being about the father's business. Joseph's brothers teased him, mocked him. Joseph's brothers, we know this, was very used sarcasm and mockery against him. The same thing with David's brothers. When David went to check on his brothers, they were not nice to him. Y'all read 1 Samuel 17. They were not nice to him when Jesse the father sent David to check on his brothers. They weren't, "Oh, great, I'm glad you checked on me." No, they were like, "Man, you think like gone somewhere." You know, they were mocking him. They were sarcastic with him. They were not nice to him, just like Joseph. They were both associated with the coat of many colors. They were. Go to 2 Samuel 13, verse 19. Benayahu, 2 Samuel 13, verse 19. 2 Samuel. Shemuel Shani. 2 Samuel 13, verse 19. Yeah, Khan.
2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 19. Then Tamar put ashes on her head and tore her robe of many colors that was on her.
And did what?
And tore the robe of many colors that was on her.
Who is Tamar? David's daughter. So you see an association with the coat of many colors in the story of David and then in the story of Yosef. Give me verse 21 as well.
Verse 21. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very angry. And Absalom spoke to his brother Amnon.
You can leave it at that. Joseph and David also were married by the Melech, by the king. Both were also married to women who were not Israelites. 1 Samuel 18, verse 27. Let's give me that one, Benayahu.
First Samuel chapter 18, verse 27. Therefore David arose and went, he and his men, and killed 200 men of the Philistines. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full count to the king, that he might become the king's son-in-law. Then Shaul gave him Michal, his daughter, as a wife.
Ain't that what happened with similar to what happened? Go to Genesis 41:45. Go ahead and bring it out. Genesis 41:45. Genesis 41:45. 41:45.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath Paneah, and he gave him as a wife Asenath.
Y'all see this? Yeah, keep going.
The daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. So Joseph went out over all the land of Mizraim.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Joseph was 30 years old when he was resurrected and came in a great kabod and honor. The same thing was with David. Did y'all know that? We talked about that a few times before. But remember, David went through a lot of trial and tribulation just like Joseph, but then he was raised up as king and moved in kabod and honor when he was 30 years old, just like Joseph. It's crazy, y'all. Let's do 1 Samuel 18, 13 through 16. It is the scripture is 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 13 through 16.
Con. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 13. Therefore Shaul removed him from his presence and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved wisely in all his ways, and Yahuwah was with him. Therefore, when Shaul saw that he behaved very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Yasharal and Yehuda loved David, because he went out and came in before them.
Oh, give me 2 Samuel 5:4. That might have been the wrong one. My bad. 2 Samuel 5:4. 2 Samuel chapter 5 and then verse 4. But actually, that's another thing right there too, though, because that's actually the same thing with Yosef. Yosef was very loved by the people once he came in kavod and honor, though. He was very loved by the people. Oh, Khan, absolutely. So that might have been when I put that scripture there. 2 Samuel 5, verse 4.
2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 4. David was 30 years old when he began to reign.
David was what?
30 years old when he began to reign.
Wasn't that the same age that Joseph was 30 years old when he began to reign too? Y'all see that? The number 3 is the number for what? Resurrection. That's why the 30 years old was the time they began to reign, because that was a resurrection for them. Because they had went to Sheol at first. They had went through a death period before. Y'all read the story of David. He went through all kind of trial and tribulation, just like Joseph did. He was, man, chased by Saul. That was the dude he looked up to, man. That was the king anointed by Yahuwah who hated David. He was trying to kill him. And he was on a run. He had to go and chill with the heathen for a while and work for them. And he didn't even know what he would eat the next day. Like David was going through major tribulation. And it was at 30 years old is when he was able to raise up and be in his kabod. Just like Yosef had his own brothers coming against him. You know, King David had his own leader coming against him. His own leader turned on him. Yosef had his own brothers turned on him. Now this is an interesting one right here. Joseph and David are also described as being very handsome men.
Yes, sir.
Actually, there's not any other people in the scriptures described in this manner. Not men, at least. Let's do 1 Samuel 17, verse 42. 1 Samuel 17, verse 42.
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was only a youth, ruddy and thub looking.
Ready and what?
Thub looking.
So that goes back, that's the Yahweh, so that's the same Hebrew words, it just means handsome. Genesis 37, give me Genesis 37, verse 3. I'm sorry, give me Genesis 39, verse 6. 39, verse 6.
Genesis chapter 39, verse 6. Thus he left all he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance.
Same word, Yahweh. Same word, they just in the New King James, I guess they translate it as different things, but it's the same thing. It's handsome. All right, so we saw how with Joseph, you saw the number 10 associated with Joseph. I'm sorry, with David. Now we're going to look at Joseph. Look here in Bereshit 42. Verse 1, it's right on the screen. When Jacob saw that there was grain in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, why do you look at one another? And he said, indeed, I have heard that there is grain in Mitzrayim. Go down to that place and buy for us there, that we may live and not die. So Joseph's went down to buy grain in Egypt. Remember, Jesse had sent Dawid to go to his brothers to bring 10 loaves of bread, grain, to bring 10 ephahs of grain. Oh no, a ephah, which is a tenth of a omer here, which is 10 omers. I'm sorry, and 10 pieces of cheese, I guess. And so, in the story of Yaakov, in the story of Yosef, you see that Yaakov had, when he went to go get grain in Egypt, it was his 10 brothers who went down to do that. That's not about y'all. When y'all read Torah, every detail means something. Why did it specifically say 10 brothers? We know that he had 11 brothers. So why did it specifically mention that in the scriptures? Because that number 10 is showing that submission. It's about the commandments, but it's about the word, y'all. Man, that's it. That's a through point. It's about the word. There it goes again. Jesse said, take down for your brothers an ephah, which is a 10 omers of this dry grain. You remember, we count the omer after Shavuot. No, after Pesach, we count the omer. For what? How many days? Who knows this? How many days do you count the omer after Pesach? Oh, Ema. You know what I'm saying? That's so through. So you got that 40-day period. Then then you got that last 10 days. That's that 10 omers. That's an ephah. When you read Acts, it was the 40 days that Yahushua walked with the people after Pesach, wasn't it? After his death, burial, and resurrection, which was on Pesach, right? He dealt with his people. He dealt with his people for 40 days, and then he had ascended on that 40th day, and then they had that 10 days. That's an ephah. The 10 omers, count the omer. That's an ephah of where they prayed and supplicated before the Ruach fell on Shavuot. And carry these 10 cheeses to the captain of their 1,000 and see how your brothers fare and bring back news of them. That's why his brother was like, man, go on somewhere, David, because they knew David was coming up there to give a report to dad. Just like yourself. Go on somewhere, man. Who you think you is, man? Dawid was like, man, y'all scary, man. Look, I can do this. This dude, man, blaspheming the Most High. Y'all just chilling. Y'all just comfortable over here, man. This dude over here talking down on Yahuwah. Man, go ahead on who you think you is, man. Man, I'm finna tell Daddy, man, y'all over here scary over here. Dad giving them over to the work of Yahuwah. Dad giving his sons over to serve Yisrael and to fight for Yisrael, and they over there scary. And Dawid had to come over there like, man, y'all gonna just let this dude? Nah, I'll handle it. Y'all gonna let this dude talk down on the Most High and on his people? Y'all gotta think about this, y'all. This is real. Y'all gotta think about this for real. Think about this, y'all. Because sometimes we read the scriptures and don't really take it into reality. Think about a big old white boy. Nah, for real though. Just talking mess. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's scared. And Dawid like, what? Y'all sitting there, man. That's why do you think, listen, why do you think Dawid was like, yo, letting this uncircumcised dude, what he's saying is like, you letting this dude from these other nations. That's what uncircumcised mean. You letting this dude from the other nation come and talk down on Yahuwah like that? Y'all let him talk about y'all like that? You're like, no, I can handle it, man. I'm telling you. And his brothers were like, man, if you don't get your behind on somewhere, your little self, go ahead somewhere. Nah, man, because y'all sitting here scared. Nah, forget that. Forget that. No, I'm finna go to Saul. Saul, look here. Saul. His brother was probably like, man, what you doing, man? Go somewhere. Don't go to Saul on us. Don't go to Saul about that. Don't go to the king about that, man. David like, man, nah, forget that. Forget y'all. For real. Hey, Saul, look here. I'll go. Look here, man. I done killed a bear. You know, I done killed the lion when they came against the sheep. Look, Saul, let me go for real. This dude came and he talking down on the Most High, man. This uncircumcised dude, man, from the other nations. And Saul was like, what? Saul was like, man, I mean, okay, I guess. Because Saul was the type, and he probably thought David was going to get killed, but he really didn't care about him getting killed. He was like, man, I mean, if you want to, go ahead. And here go my armor. If you want to try, because we're not finna go out there and get killed. Hey, man, may the Most High, Saul said, may the Most High be with you, man. We're going to be right over here. And Dawid was like, bet. Man, I done killed the lion and the bear. Saul probably didn't even believe that. This youngster coming talking about he killed a lion and a bear. Man, yeah, may the Most High be with you, man, you know. Jesse at that time could have been like, man, no, you tripping. But Jesse trusted David. He might not have knew about it. That's kind of showing you how crazy Saul was, though. He probably was pretty wicked even back then, before the Ruach started coming up on him. Because, you know, the Ruach really started coming up on Saul when David was anointed as king. That's when the Ruach started coming. Oh, yeah, so that actually happened, yeah. The Ruach already started coming up on Saul at that time, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, Saul had all kind of Ruachs at this time, so that's why he was wicked like that. Yeah, so he was already had them Ruachs on him. And so, dang, it just makes you think like, dang, he should have at least told his dad, like, hey, man, your son coming over here, man. I'm going to let him fight if you okay with it. He ain't do none of that. Go ahead.
He committed his son.
That stuff wild, man. Let's keep going. So now the number 10 is about obedience. It's about submission to Yahuwah, submission to the word. This is Zechariah chapter 8. Let's look at this. I think that's verse, snap. Nah, that's the verse. I forgot to put the verse there. What was that, 20 something? Eight, like 29 or something?
That's 23.
Verse 23. This is verse 23. I forgot to put it on here. Thus says Yahuwah Sabaoth. In those days, how many men?
10.
10 men from every language of the nations shall grasp the sleeve of a Yahudim man, saying, let us go with you, for we have heard that who? Yahuwah is with you. Why does the scripture say 10 men? Why is the number 10 there? Why doesn't it say 12 men? There is nothing in the scriptures that's by chance. Everything, every detail is for a reason, because it's showing that it's about the word. It's about the word. You get what I'm saying? All right. Right, obedience to the word. But so this is what it's about. That's a good question, Ema, because it's more than about being, well, no, it's about being obedient to the word, but it's about the world is going to know that the word has been given to who? The Yahudim, to the children of Israel. The understanding is what I mean. See, all these years we thought the understanding of the word was given to the Christian scholars. For real. We thought if you go to seminary, then you'll get understanding of the word. For real. And the Most High is making it to where it's going to be fully understood that in order to get understanding of the word, you're not going to be able to go to the other nations for that. They don't have it. It was not given to them. It was given to the Yahudim. It was given to the children of Israel, so the nations will cling on to them. That's why I said 10 men, because it's about the word. That's why they're clinging on to them. 10, the Torah. The Torah was given to Yasharel. That's why this is happening. That's why it says 10 men. That's why, in order to, that's why it's commanded to give a tenth, to give a tithe, a tenth. Because it's about the commandments. That's about the word. It's about atonement. 10, the Day of Atonement is on the 10th day. The sheep, even on Pesach that is chosen, is on the 10th day. All right. Why y'all making fun of the AI art, man? That's supposed to be grain. You know what I'm saying? They got the seed. It's all right. Hey, look, man, look. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, Art. It's tough. It's tough. But Joseph and Yahusha, we know that both were despised by their brothers. Oh, no, you through? Sorry. Go ahead. No worries. No, slide on through. Slide on in, because we're talking about number 10. But both were despised and rejected by their brethren, by their brothers. Right? Yahusha, the scriptures say that Yahusha, it said, his own received him not. He came to his own, but they did not receive him. So that's what happened with Joseph. He was sent out by the father to check on his brothers, and they rejected him, right? That's what happened to Joseph. He was sent out by his father to check on his brother's well-being, but they rejected him when he checked on them. That's what happened to Yahusha. He was sent by Yahuwah. What did Yahusha say? He said, I'm all about my father's business. Ain't that what Yahusha always said? I'm about doing the works of my fathers, man. Everything I'm doing is about my father. That was yourself. All right. Yahusha was 30 years old when he started his ministry. Yeah, y'all know that. Yahusha was stripped of his garment when his brethren turned on him and was like, crucify him. You had I wonder if y'all know this. So, pull this up real quick, Benai Yahoo, because this is important. Go to Kaya, what are your thoughts so far?
It's crazy to see how the number 10 showed up so many times in both situations.
That's crazy, huh? It's a great point. It's a great point. Great point. All right.
Mark chapter 15, verse 6.
Hold on, everybody there. I want everybody to read this one. All right, let's do it.
Now at the feast he was accustomed to releasing one prisoner to them, whomever they requested. And there was one named Barabbas, who was chained with his fellow rebels.
Who was chained with who?
His fellow rebels.
Okay, keep going.
They had committed murder in the rebellion.
They had did what?
Committed murder in the rebellion.
Man, so this Og Barabbas was wild. This Og Barabbas was what we would call like we'll call him a crash test dummy. He was wildin'. Give me Mark 15, verse 7 again.
Mark chapter 15, verse 7. And there was one named Barabbas, who was chained with his fellow rebels. They had committed murder in the rebellion.
Okay. So that rebellion was actually a very significant event. It was an insurrection that a specific people group were trying to do to overtake the Romans. So Barabbas wasn't a regular dude. He was famous. So that was Barabbas. That's why they chose. See, we be thinking, oh man, they just chose this random criminal over Yahusha. Nah, Barabbas was part of this. He was probably a zealot, man. And the zealots were famous amongst the Yahudim. They were like gangs. Y'all know how people look up to the gangs today? Y'all know how people look up to like the gangbangers today, and people look up to murderers today like a mug. I'll give you an example. King Von, so he was a very, very famous rapper. I never listened to none of his music. You know what I'm saying? He was just before my time. I ain't listening to none of that. But he was like, he was like, you know he was big because he was like top charting. Top chart. He was from Chicago, man. He was a known murderer. He killed multiple people, very, very known murderer. He just was able to beat some of the cases because they didn't have enough, evidence. But and in Chicago, the police is just real. I went out to Chicago. I've been to Chicago. It's not like down here. They real laid back. People just get away with stuff out there, man. It's crazy. And so he famous. Everybody think he cool. And he literally rapped about specific murders he committed in his music. And he was a hero in the community, you know what I'm saying? Well, I shouldn't say in the community, but he's a hero amongst a large amount of our people, especially the younger ones. They look up to him, think he cool. My point is, Barabbas was like, he was like one of them type, he was wild, man. He was a murderer, but he wasn't just a random murderer. He was somebody who was looked at as a hero. People thought he was cool. People looked up to him. That's why they chose him over Yahusha. I'm telling y'all, man, people would choose King Von over Yahusha. Quick.
Oh yeah.
Quick. Yahusha coming on behalf of his people. Barabbas didn't care nobody about himself but himself. What I want y'all to do, man, the Akim, I'm going to pray on it first, but I'm pretty sure the Akim, we're going to do this, though, at least. We're going to look into we're going to study what happened in 70 A.D. Y'all, Jerusalem, we're the people of Jerusalem, so we need to know our history so you don't repeat it again. In 70 A.D., why did we get sacked? Y'all know in the first 70 A.D., when the Romans came the first time, we were so strong and mighty, we pushed the Romans back. But as soon as they pushed back, we were in so much division within Jerusalem. As soon as we pushed them back enough, then we started fighting and killing each other because there was so much division, so many different factions in Jerusalem at the time. You had the Zealots, you had the Sicarii, you had, Pharisees, you had the Sadducees. Didn't nobody get along with each other. They were literally killing each other. That's how much they didn't get along with each other. It was literally like what you would see with with gangs and stuff like that. That's how it was in Jerusalem. That's how you know we the people, y'all. We don't really know what happened leading up to 70 A.D. We were literally killing each other, y'all. That's why Rome was able to come and destroy us easily. Because we were so divided, Mitch Parker. No, this Israelite walk ain't supposed to be just another gang. I'm serious. I know y'all think it's funny, but I'm telling y'all, some of these folk, man, they get into this walk and it's just another gang. It's for real. All right. That wasn't supposed to be that long. It really wasn't. We're going to keep it moving. All right. Yahusha became a servant. He was lowered as a servant, just like Joseph. So Joseph was actually the coat of many colors. He was of the inheritance of Abraham. He was supposed to receive the inheritance of Abraham because Jacob had chose him to be kind of like the firstborn. But Jacob had to lower himself as a servant. Same thing with Yahusha, right? Similar thing with Yahusha. They were both described as a shepherd. We know Yahusha was the Thub shepherd, right? Yahusha said he's the Thub shepherd. The same thing with Joseph. He was a shepherd of the sheep. They both knew what their future held. That's big. Yahusha knew, okay, I know I'm going to have to go through this. I'm going to have to go through this tribulation. But the Most High is going to rise me up to lead. I'm going to be head over everybody if I just do what I... Joseph understood that all this was for the Most... Hey, look, I had this dream. I know I'm going to be ruling over everybody. I'm going to be ruling over my brothers and all that. He knew that. His future from the beginning. They were both accused of being dreamers. That's interesting. They're both accused of being dreamers. They were both targets for a conspiracy to kill them. There was a conspiracy against Yahusha to kill him from his own brethren, the Yahudim. Similar thing with Joseph, his own brethren had conspired to kill him. It wasn't like no heat of the moment. No, it was thought out. It was planned out. It was a conspiracy to take them out. They were also sold for silver. We're going to get into that. They were sold to the other nations for silver. Y'all know about the story of Yahusha enough to understand what I'm saying, right? Judas sold him for 30 pieces of silver to the Romans, right? It says Judas in the New Brit Hadashah in English, but his name is literally Judah, Yehuda. It was Judah's idea in the story of Joseph to sell Joseph into slavery. Y'all see how this goes? Ain't no way that could be by coincidence. Y'all see what I'm saying? All right. Yeah. And it was by Kasep that they were sold. Silver, money. They were both falsely accused. We know they were both falsely accused. They said Yahusha, he's for blasphemy. Blasphemy. How Yahusha gonna commit blasphemy? And the same thing with Joseph. He was falsely accused. You know, the lady said, hey, man, he tried to lay with me. He tried to commit adultery, which is pretty blasphemous to commit adultery. They suffered rejection. They spent time alone in Sheol. They were counted among the criminals. That's a big one. They were counted among the criminals. Joseph was among the criminals, remember? Joseph was among the chief butler and the baker. And Joseph told him, he was like, hey, remember me when you go back to Pharaoh, for I'm not supposed to be here. Man, they came and they came and treated me wrong. They lied on me, man. I ain't supposed to be here. Remember me when you go up there. Y'all know the same thing happened with Yahusha. He was on the cross with two criminals. He was on the cross with two people, just like Joseph was in the Sheol with two people, the butler and the baker. And Joseph said, remember me when you go back to Pharaoh. Remember me. Tell them about me. And Yahusha, the same thing. It was two people. One was wicked and one was righteous. Joseph was down with two people. One was wicked and one was righteous. Y'all remember that? And one got lifted back up to Pharaoh. The other one got beheaded because he was wicked. Yahusha was on the stake or the cross with two people. One was wicked, one was righteous. And what did the dude that was righteous say to Yahusha? He said, remember me. He said, Yahusha, remember me when you go into the kingdom. And what did Yahusha say? He said, oh yeah, you're going to be with me. He said, you going to be with me in the Shamayim, or you going to be with me in the kingdom? I'm paraphrasing. Paradise, yeah. Told y'all be knowing the word, man. I love it. He said, "You will be with." He said, "I think he said today you'll be with me in paradise." He said, "Today." How is that a coincidence when the same similar thing from the righteous person said, what Joseph said to the right, remember me when you go out there. And the dude was like, yeah, I'm going to remember you. You're going to be with me. With Pharaoh, I'm going to remember him. He didn't remember him. He eventually remembered him, though, and then he ended up being leader, though. So you still gotta give him some kind of props, a little, like, you know, something. You remember them later on, because that's how he got out. You know what I'm saying? They were both considered dead, and then ended up coming back alive. Joseph, man, his dad they all thought he was dead, because his brothers lied to his dad. He had the little killed the little goat. That man, like, oh man, whose jacket is this, Dad? Boy, look here. I just don't see how that would have worked on me. What you talking about? Y'all know this is jacket. Y'all the main ones. They had an issue with that when I gave him this jacket. What you talking about? Y'all know who did what did you do? What did you do? For real. Talking about, I don't know. Y'all know who that dad? Do you know? I don't know. Whose jacket is this? What? Oh no. Oh no. We going back out. What did y'all do? Not recognized by their brethren. Oh, snap. Y'all didn't think about that? Oh, y'all didn't think about that? Joseph, man, his brothers didn't recognize him because he was so Americanized. Joseph, man, he had on suit and tie. He had clean shave. He ain't had a beard. Remember, he got shaved. You know what I'm saying? He ain't had an Israelite beard. He had the gold teeth, fam. He had the Americanized haircut. He had the gold teeth and the bald face. He ain't had a beard. With the suit and tie. They thought they ain't know who he was. They like, man, we don't know this dude. Man, this dude is an Egyptian. And then Joseph was so cold, he was speaking to them in tongues. He was speaking to them in another language. So they didn't understand him. They had to have an interpreter, somebody who could interpret tongues to tell them what he was saying. He was speaking to them in the language of the Mitzrites. And so they had no idea, man. He was dressed in the garments of the Mitzrites. He was dressed like of the nobility of Egypt. Man, there ain't no way they could tell who he was. They ain't seen him in 13 years. Joseph got muscle now. He taller than them now. He was a little short arc back in the day, man. They could whoop him. They would make fun of him, push him around, talk down on him. Now he tall. He bigger than them. They getting kind of old. He's still young and got some umph in him. And they bowing down to him like, man, oh snap. This is they called him ATONEMENT. Man, he one of the lords of the land. And he talking to him in Mitzrite language. He talking to him in tongues. In a language they can't understand, so that an interpreter. Joseph is so cold, man. Who in the world knew to get an interpreter of Hebrew? That's how wise Joseph was. That's how cold Joseph was. Yeah, I need to get somebody of the Ibrahim over here. I need to get somebody, man, from the Edomites or from the Ishmaelites. I need to get an interpreter of the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? He knew Hebrew. Come on, man. He didn't get put into slavery till he was 17. Come on, man. He knew the language. One thing about a language, you don't lose it. No, it's like riding a bike. You don't lose that. But he chose that. Yeah, let me get one of the. Hey man, get little Ludi Yahoo over there, man, who stayed over there in Goshen, to come over here and interpret for me, man. Yeah. Go and get them over here, man. Little Duty Yahoo. No, I shouldn't say that. Little Shalom Yahoo. There we go. Shalom Yahoo, he good peoples, man. Go and get him over here. I'm gonna pay him a few pieces of silver. I need him to move as an interpreter for me right now. Shalom Yahoo, yo, so what you doing, man? You know Hebrew. What you talking about? We be, you know what I'm saying? Just chill. Just roll with me. I'm gonna pay you. Just no. Come on. And he come over with his brothers, and he start talking in Egyptian. I bet little Shalom Yahoo was like, dude, man. Yosef was probably like, all right. Shalom Mishpachah. Little Shalom Yahoo was like, man, I don't know what he doing, but look, man, he paying me. We gonna do this, man. And so he brought out he was the interpreter. And so they had no eye. They didn't. Yahusha did. I'm telling y'all, Yahusha did the same thing. Yahusha literally, he came and he spoke in parables. He spoke in riddles. He did it on purpose so that they won't understand him. He did it on purpose. So they would not recognize that he was the Mashiach. He came, he was like, nah, I'm not finna come in no kabod. I'm finna be looking like a normal Ak. Yahusha came looking like a normal Ak. He was riding on a donkey. He was chilling with the downtrodden. He was chilling with he was in the hood. He went down. He didn't deal with the Pharisees. Those were the elite. Those were the people who were learned in Torah. Why didn't he get one of them? No. He didn't get one of them. I know, Grandma. I know. He was like, man, give me one. Hey, Kiefer. Yeah, come follow me, man. Oh, bad. Kiefer, man, he wasn't learned at all in the ways of the Pharisees. He grew up poor, a fisherman. I'll make you fishers of men. Come on, follow me. I mean, Yahusha, he went to one of the rich folks and tried to give him an opportunity, didn't he? Remember the rich young ruler? He was like, man, what should I do to receive eternal life? Yahusha was like, man, keep the commandments, right? I already do all that. All right, now sell all your possessions and come and follow me. And he said something like, you'll be perfect. I can't remember what he said. But basically he said, follow me, though, was the point. And he couldn't do it. But when he told Kiefer to follow me, what did Kiefer do? He dropped everything, can't follow him, didn't he? Yeah. And the other fishermen, those who was in the hood, though, they came follow him quick, didn't they? He came to the rich man, they like, oh, man, I can't do that. I can't give up all I got now. That's when Yahusha was like, oh yeah, it's going to be harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom than it's going to be hard. It's easier for a camel to spit through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Shamayim. He went to the poor. And so that caused a lot of people to be like, man, you ain't no Mashiach, man. You ain't no king. This dude is normal Ak. I know your brothers in there, man. Y'all grew up out there in Nazareth. Ain't nothing out there. Y'all grew up in the middle of nowhere, man. Y'all ain't even from Jerusalem. Boys from Nazareth. Ain't nothing. What thub can come out of Nazareth? All right, let's keep going. And so the majority missed that he was the Mashiach because they was looking at certain things. They had a worldly mindset. They didn't see that he was the Mashiach, just like Joseph's brothers didn't see that he was their brother that they turned on, not until he revealed himself to them. All right, let's keep going. And also, we know that that Yahushua will end up as ruler and king over everything, just like Joseph. So in this kavod. All right. It's not in order. I was rushing. I'm not rushing, but I was rushing. All right. So what we saw was there was a lot of talk in this Torah portion about money. So remember they had the sack of money to buy. So they were going to buy bread, right? They were going to buy bread because there was a famine of grain. There was a famine of bread. There was a famine, which I submit is symbolic of the famine of the word. This is what is happening today. I know y'all don't see all the emails we get. Y'all don't get all the messages and everything. Listen, there's a famine of the word that's happening now. So we know there's the economy is going down. That's a famine. That's what that's what was happening during the time of Yosef. The economy taking a downturn. That's what the famine is. That means it's a famine. But this is also about the famine of the word. So listen, y'all. Nevertheless, when you read the story of Joseph, what you see is that there was a famine of the word. I mean, a famine of grain, a famine of the bread, famine of the word, famine of the bread, famine of food. And so it caused all the Gentiles, all the nations, which is the word for Gentiles, right? Goyim, that's the word for nations. Gentiles, it's the same word, right? They all had to come to Joseph to get bread. This is what is happening now. There is a famine of the word. See, what's happening is more and more people are realizing that you're not going to get the word from seminary school. You're not going to get the word from Mount Episcopalian, Baptist, AME, Methodist, I don't know. Y'all know what I'm saying. Church. You're not going to get the word from there. You're not going to get fed from there. You can go there, but you're not going to get fed. You'll go there and you'll be hungry because there's a famine of the word. You're not going to get it from there. And so what's happening is people are dying. They're starving from a lack of word. People are dying ruachly worldwide. And so what's happening though is that there are this is happening now. This is not like prophetically in the future one day. No, this is what's happening now. This is what's going on. Y'all just probably don't know it and don't see it but it's right under. Sometimes prophecies happening right under your nose and you don't see it. This is one of those things that the nations are realizing that the word, that there's food at rebirth, and they're flowing to us. That makes sense? All right, almost done. Going back to money. So, y'all remember the story. So the word for money is kaseb. That's silver. Actually, it says money in the English. It's silver. The Hebrew is silver. So when they went and they bought the bread, they paid for the grain with what? Silver, with money. That's how Joseph started really messing with it. He started really testing his brothers. He tested them using silver. What metal was his divination cup made out of? Okay, I already read the Torah portion. Okay. Yeah, this is about silver. It's more than money. Because silver is about atonement, right? All right, let's see. The word for silver is kasep. Kaf, samik, pay. Silver, kasep. Joseph's name is Yosef. Oh yeah, come on. So kasep. So what I told y'all a while ago when we first was getting into this, when the Most High was first revealing us about the silver, revealing to us about the silver, is that it's about blessings being secured by the word. But there's more to this. So the kaf is a hand. So it's about blessings, which means giving, but it's also about receiving, being able to receive. You get what I'm saying? So another way to look at this, it's about the blessings of protection in the word. The blessings of protection that you get from the word, the blessings of protection in the word. That's the word kapar for Yom Kippur. It's about the blessings being spoken by the head, right? That's what I said before. It's about interceding. It's about the blessings being spoken by the head, but it's also about receiving a word from the chief. Do y'all know that receiving a word without getting defensive, without getting, well, I didn't look at it like that. Well, I felt offended because woo-tee-woo, woo-tee-woo, woo-tee-woo. Well, what about her? You just gave me a word, but what about him instead of just receiving a word? Well, I saw 10 years ago, but there is atonement that comes with being able to receive a word from the chief. Give me 1 Samuel 15 real quick, but now Yahoo. It's verse 1 Samuel 15. 15 verse 22. Give me that one.
Come on. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. So Samuel said, has Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahuwah?
What were we talking about that? Keep going.
Behold, it is better than sacrifice. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
Right, and what?
And to heed than the fat of rams.
And to what?
And to heed than the fat of rams.
Heed means to what? Hearken, to listen. We always talk about obedience is better than sacrifice. We don't think about the other part of that verse, though. Yeah, obedience is better than sacrifice, but also he's saying, but to listen is better than sacrifice, too. That's what he means by it. But to heed is better than the fat of rams. That's what he means by that. But to be able to listen, to be able to receive a word. I know there were times in the past where there was some of the mishpaka I knew I just couldn't talk to. They just don't receive nothing I ever say. Ever. It's always just some sort of defensive. It's just goes. It just doesn't. It don't bear enough. It don't do nothing. I just focus on the people who gonna receive it. It just don't matter. It just don't receive nothing I ever say. It's always in one ear and out the other. It's not no disrespect. It's always ahava. It's like, no, I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna cut you out or nothing. Nah, I'm not about to hear that because you saying something negative about me, man. Nah, what about her? What about him? What about that dude from 10 years ago? It don't never do, it never. Every time. So, okay, I'm going to keep it light. Keep it light. I'm going to be honest, you know what I'm saying? I'm not allowed to do that. I'm just talking. I'm not allowed to do that. I still got to tell you, but the focus is on people going to be able to receive, because there is atonement, there's a covering for those who are able to receive a word from the head, from the chief. It's right in the word for kapar. So that's the word kaseb. It's about the blessings secured by the word, but it's also about the blessings of protection that you get in the word. There's protection that you get in the word. Yosef. That's kaseb. And that's Yosef. No wonder why Yosef had a whole lot of kaseb. Yosef had a whole lot of kaseb, didn't he? He even had a kaseb cup, didn't he? He had a cup made out of kaseb. And he was messing with his brothers. He had hid it in their thing. Hey, man, where my, oh, hold on, man, you stole my cup. Yeah, I know I can do divination. Because what kaseb is about atonement. But what's a big part of atonement? Atonement is about people getting destroyed too, isn't it? It's two angles to that. The covering is for those who receive the word, but for those who reject it, it's destruction. That's what atonement is about, the destruction of those who go against the word, go against the Torah, and the covering for those who heed it and who are obedient. That's how you know that kafar, Yom Kippur. This is proven right here that Yom Kippur is associated with the number 10. Because we know that 10 is about obedience. And Yom Kippur is on the 10th day. See what I'm saying? So what does that mean? That means that silver is associated with the number 10, right? Y'all see how that works together? Okay. Kaseb. Yosef is about doing the work to secure the word. Doing the work to secure the word. That's what Yosef was all about. He was about doing the work to secure the word. This is my name, Asaph. My name is very close to Kaseb and Yosef. It's the strong leader who secures the word. The word kaf, kuf-peh, it's about the blessings of Yahuwah. It's about receiving a word. It's about receiving a word, and it's a palm. It's like a palm. It's a covering, kaf. It's about receiving the word. Give me Exodus chapter 33, verse 22, and read through 23. Shemot chapter 33 and verse 22 through 23. Shemot chapter 33, verse 22.
Exodus. Exodus chapter 33, verse 22. So it shall be, while my kabod passes by, that I will put you in the cleft of the rock, and I will cover you with my hand while I pass by.
So cover you with my hand. That's kuf-peh. It's about receiving the word. Keep going.
Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen.
So why did he cover him though? It was to protect him from what? Being killed. It's a protection that comes from the Kufpe, receiving a word. All right. It's a protection that comes from receiving a word. There's a famine of the word. And Yahuwah has made it to where the nations have to come to us to get the word due to the famine. But everybody been trying to take our identity. That's right. Jehovah's Witnesses has been trying to take our identity. They said they did 144,000, didn't they? No, they said they did 144,000. They only talk about spiritual Israel when they talk when they trying to, you know, but they say no, they the literal 144,000. They trying to tell, yeah. That's what I was getting to last night. Islam, I was talking about that last night. Go to Psalm 83 real quick. That's a Psalm of Asaph. Because it's about securing the word. Just the first couple of verses, real quick. Psalm 83.
Psalm 83, a psalm of Asaph. Do not keep silent, O Alua.
A psalm of who?
Asaph.
Now, I'm not trying to emphasize that because that's my name, but I'm trying to, because it's about securing the word, though. You know what I'm saying? So keep going. Go ahead.
Do not keep silent, O Alua. Do not hold your shalom, and do not be still, O Alua. For behold, your enemies make a tumult, and those who hate you have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and consulted together against your sheltered ones.
They have done what?
They have consulted together against your sheltered ones.
What do they do? Keep going.
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
Y'all hear this? And keep going.
That the name of Yashar'al may be remembered no more.
So y'all wonder why in the transatlantic slave trade, they said, no, your name is John. No, you can't speak your language. No, you're going to speak English. And as soon as you try to speak your native language, they'll beat you to death. You speaking English here. Because it was about making sure that the name of Israel was remembered no more. Keep going.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
So this wasn't one nation. We always talk about this one people taking our identity. This is multiple nations who consulted together so that we would be remembered no more as a people, so that our identity would be remembered no more. Keep going.
They form a confederacy against you.
It's a conspiracy against us. Keep going.
The tents of Edom.
Oh, snap. And who else?
And the Ishmaelites.
So Edom, that's Christianity.
Right.
Y'all know Christianity is the religion of Edom.
Khan.
It is. It's the religion of Esau. Malek Yehusha taught about this. Christianity is the religion of Esau, y'all. Because Christianity was birthed from Catholicism. Catholicism is a Roman religion. The Catholics were descendants of Esau. So, you know how us being Israelites, we speak Hebrew. So a lot of times when we're reading the scriptures, we'll read it and we'll read Hebrew. We won't even read the English. When it says Lord, we'll say Yahuwah. We might say Shalom when it says peace. We'll speak Hebrew and English together, right? If you go to the Catholic Church, they won't do that, but they'll speak Latin. Latin is the language of the Edom, is one of the languages of the Esau. Latin comes from one of the descendants of Esau, Lotan. This is something like Yehusha taught years ago. Latin comes from the descendant of Esau. His name was Lotan. It's in Genesis 36. It's also in the Chronicles. It was a person by the name of Lotan. He was one of the chiefs, descendants of Esau. That's where Latin came from. There's a whole Bible, ancient Bible, called the Latin Vulgate. That's where the Catholics get their Bible from. You notice how the Catholics got a different Bible than everybody? They translate their Bible from what is called the Latin Vulgate. They don't deal with Hebrew. They deal with Latin. They will they will do whole prayers in Latin, just like what we'll do whole prayers in Hebrew. We'll say, Yevareka, we'll speak Hebrew. They do the same thing like that, but it's in Latin, which is the language of the Edomites. Every church, every denomination, for at least 99% of them, 98% some, the vast majority is my point, are offshoots of Catholicism. Catholics is the mother of the church system in the world. So the church Christianity is literally the religion of Esau. Islam is the religion of Ishmael. What do they do in Islam? I know because I had Muslim homeboys. You got your homeboys that get locked up and they come out and now they with Islam. That's what I think a lot of people ran into that. They got family members or friends, they got locked up, they come out, they Islam. You know what I'm saying? And so I debated with a lot of people who are of Islam, who were just regular Negro like me and you, but they are Islam now because they got locked up and they say that's the truth. And they are gun-ho about, hey, no, Ishmael is the true chosen one. Yep. Ishmael, not Isaac, not Jacob. No, it's Ishmael. You know what I'm talking about? Because Ishmael the firstborn, so how come he ain't get, you see what I'm saying? They trying to replace you. It's not just the Ish people. The nations have conspired together to replace you. I know, they be getting loud, Grandma, I know. As soon as I learned that we were supposed to keep Shabbat, we were supposed to do these things, me and Emmett got together, we was trying to find, because my mind said, because I was going to church, so my mind said, okay, let's find a church that does services on Shabbat. That was my mind. My mind said, we didn't know better. And so the only people we knew that did that in ATX was Seventh-day Adventists. So we started trying to go to a Seventh-day Adventist church. And they're the same thing. They literally we're the 144,000, and they're subtle. They're a lot more subtle than the Jehovah's Witness, but they teach the same thing. They're like, yeah. I know that it says that the Israel is the 144, but we are, because we replaced them, because what they say is Yahuwah had done away with Israel. Because they were disobedient. They were disobedient to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? So now it got turned over to us. You know what I'm saying? But when you read about the 144,000, it says 12,000 from the tribe of Judah, 12,000 from Naphtali, 12,000 from Asher. So how can y'all flip that? How can y'all? You can't get around that. It don't say 12,000 from Russia. 12,000 from Kansas. No, I don't say that, bro. 12,000 from the U.S. 12,000 from Yugoslavia. It's specifically from the tribes of Israel. And so, keeping all that in mind, it's about securing the word. So, and it's about sapphire. My bad. So, the word for sapphire is sapphire. I didn't put that on here. I forgot. But the word sapphire is, let's see if I can. So you got Yosef. So sapphire would be, you would take that out, and it's Samik Pei and then a resh. Can y'all picture that? A Samik Pei and then a resh. That's sapphire, y'all. That's why Yosef was serious about the word. This whole thing is about the word. I submit that even the story of Yosef, man, it's about a famine of the word. It's about a word. That's why you saw silver all throughout the story. That's why you saw his name was Yosef. You see what I'm saying? That's why you see all these things going on under the under your nose Hebraically. And that is associated with the word. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. Hallelujah. Bring it out. Go ahead. That's important.
All right, so at Ibri, we just studied the letter Samic, and there was a vocabulary word that we had. It was the word for book. Do y'all remember what that was? Any other yellow dean? Y'all remember what the word for book was? Oh, somebody had it?
Z, come on. What's that?
Got it.
Grab the mic. Grab the mic. Back there. No, let's stay here.
Oh.
Grab that one back there. How you on know? Oh, okay.
The word for book in Hebrew is sefer.
It's Sefer. So it's the same thing. It's the Samic, if I'm not mistaken, Samic Peresh, Sefer. And we're talking about the word. And so the word for book, which is the word, is Sefer.
Right.
Yeah. So let me correct that. Yeah. So Sefer is Samic Pei Resh. Saphir is Samic Pei Yod Resh, I believe. Saphir is Samic Pei Yod Resh. For sapphire, Saphir in Hebrew. Sapphire, Saphir. Scribe is Sophar, which is Samic Pei Resh, I believe. For scribe is Sophar. So I'm just trying to show you how all that works together. Yeah. All that works together. And so the word, that's why you saw silver all throughout the story. It's very, very, very interesting, very, very deep. But it's about covering, it's about atonement. That's why when you read the Joseph story, the silver was surrounded around atonement. It was surrounded around atonement. That's when Joseph was like, oh man, the silver, oh no. I'll take his place. I'll take his place. So y'all remember what for example what the daughter was saying about what she was seeing about the goat. Last week we talked about atonement a lot and the goat, didn't we? And that was surrounded around the number 10, which is associated with silver, which is associated with a cover and atonement. When it comes to silver, you would give in Exodus chapter 30, you would give silver as the atonement silver. It was half a shekel for every individual. It was an atonement silver to cover yourself. It was something that, who was it? Bat Taraji. Yeah, she said she was seeing the goat. You know what I'm saying? That's why on the Day of Atonement, what do? You kill the goat, don't you? You kill the goat, and that's what covers you. But the way that you kill the goat is through confession and repentance. It's through atonement. I'll follow up on this another day, but just to throw it out there at least. There was a scripture where Yahusha said, basically, so Maury Manor was saying, what would you render unto him? Or something like that. What would you render unto the Most High? Or was that it was somebody was saying that. The Ruach was on him, and they was talking about, rendering unto the Most High. Well, there was a scripture where Yahusha took a fish, pulling out of the water, and then he took a coin out of the fish. And he said, render unto Caesar and render unto... And what was the word today? What would you render unto him? What are you going to sacrifice to the Most High? He pulled a coin out of the fish, and I submit to you, that coin was a silver. That's what they used. That was what the coins were made out of back then. And he said, render unto Yahuwah what you render unto Caesar, but render unto Yahuwah what he deserves. You see what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High.
All right, we had so I put the letters that little Anthony saw. It's actually really interesting. A lot of it looks like Paleo, Hebrew, and Block mixed together. Yeah, something to look into there. Ima Oya said, being that Joseph's dream about the sheaves, that they were going to bow before him in kneading grain. That was when they first bowed to him. God. That was it. That's when they was first bowed to him. Bethel said, Matthew 27:16. And at that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. Oh, yeah, she got a mic over there. Oh, you got a mic? Oh, you said you need one? You can use this one. Oh, it's coming back.
This was just when Musha was explaining, like he was a well-known. That was just in reference to Musha saying like he was a well-known prisoner. That's a scripture study that I did with the Yeladim because we did the book of Matthew, and it just stuck out to me that I said he was notorious. So I was just emphasizing the word notorious because that's what Musha was talking about.
Say that last part one more time. I'm sorry, hold on one second. Food team, were y'all ready for the Yeladim? Y'all ready for him? Okay, all right. Say that last part one more time.
No, I was saying Musha was explaining that he was a well-known prisoner, and that part had stuck out to me when I was doing scripture study with the Yeladim because we did the book of Matthew, that he was notorious. So I was just going back to the scripture where it says he was a notorious prisoner. He wasn't just no random prisoner.
Kind, B.I.G. You'll get it tonight. Yeah, nah, he was super famous. You even read about some of that in the book of Acts. I think it was either right before or after Stephen would be stoned. They talked about all these rebellions that they had and all those different things.
Sorry.
They kept raising up trying to destroy Rome. Go ahead.
And when I look at the breakdown of the word notorious, it did say infamous. He was infamous. So.
Yeah, that's it. B.I.G. Yeah. I'm telling you.
They didn't believe me. B.I.G.
And that's the issue with our people today, be glorifying the murderers and the wicked.
Suge Knight, Snoop Dogg. Oh. All right, Ima Oya said, reading the Torah portion, I see where the same thing said about Rachel. If the stolen idol be found, then they shall die.
Oh, snap.
The same thing was said about Benjamin when they found the cup in his sack. The only difference is he did not take it. Saying that, this is deja vu, I think. Saying that he should be careful of our words. Just saying we could be wrong. Just saying could be wrong.
That's a great point. And y'all also know that Dawid was tempted with sexual immorality like Joseph was. Dawid, he didn't pass the test though. Yeah. Because you had Dawid, it was a Hittite's wife, right? A Gentile's wife. He fell for it though. But Joseph, man, he had Potiphar's wife, but he didn't deal with it. He didn't go with it. So very interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's like Ima was saying, this you got to be real. You got to be a wise judge. Yahuwah set you up like that, man. You'll see. Getting a great example. I ain't saying nobody doing this. I'm just saying that when this has happened to us. Like you'll see somebody child doing something. We was in Florida. You'll see somebody child doing something. You're like, man, that baby just crying and doing what they want to do. and then you'll have a child that just cry and do what they want to do. So you gotta be real careful with the words that you speak, because don't be quick to judge a matter. Don't be quick to judge a matter, particularly when it's not pertaining to you.
Come up on me.
Yeah, I know somebody said it. Oh man, that baby got a big head. All right, okay. All right. Now, but this is Sirach chapter 11. This is what I was trying to find. It says, just read verse 9. Do not argue a matter that does not concern you, and do not sit with sinners when they judge a case. So you just got to be careful, because you never know. You never know, like Imam was saying. Continuing, Imam Oya said, a lot of what you're talking about was said today by Yahusha. Eat from the tree. He is the tree. We are a part of the tree. Amma said, David and Joseph both received new garments. 1 Samuel 17:38. So Saul clothed Daud with his armor, and he put a bronze helmet on his head. He also clothed him with a coat of mail. 1 Samuel 18:4. And Jonathan took off the robe that was on him and gave it to Daud with his armor, even to his sword and his bow and his belt. Genesis 41:14, palindrome. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him quickly out of the dungeon. And he shaved, changed his clothing, and came to Pharaoh. Genesis 41:42. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring off his hand and put it on Joseph's hand. And he clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. So both David and Joseph received new garments. Yep.
Oh, snap. And that's interesting, even with the gold chain, because so Joseph also had the ketonet, you know, the coat of many colors, which you'll see with the priestly garments was a ketonet. But when you look at the scriptures around the priestly garments, it was a gold chain around the neck too.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy.
So in the Spanish culture, chains are actually called, or necklaces are actually called garments. Yeah. So like this would be a garment. Yeah. I found that to be interesting. Or like this right here would be like a garment. Yeah. Very interesting.
Bethel says Seventh-day Adventists don't eat meat. They vegetarians.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about when we was in the Seventh-day Adventist church. It was a whole lot of people from the islands there. Like, we saw all these black people, and we thinking they black people. I mean, you know, people from the islands are black people, but y'all know what I'm saying. They're not from America, though. They was either from Africa or from, like, Jamaica or, yeah, like, different islands. Like, the Seventh-day Adventists are represented strongly in the islands. So I thought that was interesting.
Man, I put the scriptures in here, but then the war put this gift about Zariah, Zamar, and Anthony.
You didn't even see what we were talking about in the meeting last night.
That is hilarious. Hold on, I gotta put that on screen. Hold on, that's hilarious. Hold on, this thing hilarious. Stop. So, but she got a message in here though. She said Amuda made this. Oh, it's still sharing. There we go. Amudah made this, but it had me thinking of how Joseph was treated by his brothers. Y'all better mind how y'all treat y'all brothers and sisters. They may be the ones that you have to submit to. Funny is with the sound. And Yirmiyahu thought that was clever.
Yeah, he'll be the one that's laughing at that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is really interesting. They're gonna make them tough though, and that's how Joseph wasn't no punk, man.
Well, they don't hit them; they just put them down and try to give them consequences.
Yeah, it make them tough. That's how Yasha is with Caleb. That's why Caleb that way. I was telling Hadassah, Yasha the best big brother ever, man. Like she wearing Caleb out. Yeah. All right.
Got one more incoming. We're gonna wait for Zakane. Oh, that's it. Are we done though? We can't go on, but ain't nowhere to go. Yeah, we going as far as we can go. We was just waiting on you. Y'all got rushed, but there was somebody else that was like that too.
That DNA, them DNA things was fire.
I was trying to figure out what the bumps was on the side. The bumps was. The bumps on the side of the strand.
They'll go ribonuclei.
Hey, what's the bumps on the side of the DNA? Is that are those phosphates? Oh, the middle lines. Oh, ain't nobody in here. All right. I liked it. I mean, if they phosphate molecules, if not, I don't know what they are.
Hey, what's the bumps on the side of the DNA strand? Polysaccharides?
Oh, yeah. Hallelujah.
All right, Mr. Picard, I'd like to bring out Daniel 1. That's a beautiful illustration of eating from the right table, you know. Daniel 1 and verse 8. We'll start right there. But Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's delicacies. He didn't want to eat their food, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the chief of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. So Yahuwah had brought Daniel into the favor and goodwill of the chief of the eunuchs. So anyway, to make a long story short, they put him on the Daniel fast, So they started eating vegetables, fruit and all that stuff, and they came out better and wiser, than the ones that were on the kings, eating the king's food, eating defiled food. So that's a good lesson to learn, just you got to eat from the right table, to get blessed, So we eat that defiled food from the Gentiles and the heathens, you're gonna end up, going off center, you're not gonna be on the right road. So I just wanted to bring that out. Hallelujah.
I got a question.
I was just gonna say this about the defiled food. This is just something, the revelation I got. So y'all know in Leviticus 11 it goes into the clean and unclean food. You notice that there's two witnesses for the I couldn't wait till we got to that Torah portion. There's two witnesses when you get to the clean and unclean food. It has to have what? For the land animals, it has that split the hooves and what? That's two witnesses. For the in the water, they had to have the scales and the fins and scales. See what I'm saying? And so pork. This is why y'all notice that pork is one of the most abominable foods to eat according to the scriptures. Even though there's a lot of other unclean stuff, you notice that pork is highlighted a lot more. And I submit to y'all because pigs, they split the hooves, but they don't chew the cud. That's Christianity. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's like they got some of the truth, but it's a lot. But then it's a lot. It's false mixed in. It's truth and false mixed together. See what I'm saying? They split the hood, but they don't chew the cud. It's easy not to eat. They don't got none of the things according to Torah. If you don't split the hoods or chew the cud, you ain't gonna look at that to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Most people ain't worried about eating no rat meat. I know some nations do it, but most people, well, usually what the Israelites will be on them pork chops though, because that's Christianity. They split the hood, they just don't chew the cud. You see what I'm saying? We ain't trying to eat no roach. We ain't trying to eat, you know, they don't got none of the things that you need to be clean. You know what I'm saying? That's easy. Nah, we ain't eating that. But pork is the one, the bacon and all that, but that's a big thing for us because it mixes the truth with error. It's the same thing with catfish. They don't got the scales, but they got the fins.
That's right.
That's Christianity. You see what I'm saying? It's mixing the truth with error. It's a mixing of the truth and error. So we be tearing up the catfish, huh? We be out there, do a whole catfish fry, broil, everything. You know what I'm saying? And so you just see, because when you start really looking at the word as food, just like how today we were talking about the famine of the word. You know, a famine of the word. Like the word is like food. You start off on the milk and then you can get on solid meat. Remember Paul talked about that. That's talking about the teachings, the word. But Christianity, they giving you unclean meat to eat. They giving you straight catfish and ham. That's why if you if you eat the church meal, you go to church and pastor, they bringing out the good old Easter ham. Go to Easter service, boy. They gonna have that big old ham hock out there. They gonna have a catfish broil. They gonna have all the unclean, especially on the holidays. Thank you so much. Especially on the holidays, like Christmas. It is custom for you to eat turkey, but you also have the ham. That's the main course, huh? I told y'all we was in we was actually in the hospital. We were in the rehabilitation center for during Thanksgiving. We didn't even realize it was Thanksgiving. We just they're supporting Radai Yahoo, you know, just he working through getting healed. And they were just like, oh man, it's messed up. You know, you got to be here during Thanksgiving. We're like, yeah, we don't care. You know? No, we just want them to be here. We just meant that we here, period. You know, we just want to be through. And they didn't really have a lot of choices for what you can pick for food. And guess what they brought out on Thanksgiving? They brought out a good old slab of ham. And we specified to him that he had food restrictions, and we were trying to be diligent about that because we knew that he had other family members there that would love for him to eat unclean, for real. Just to try to get him out of that stuff. And so we're being extra diligent. Yeah, no, he has food restrictions. Oh, really? You know, are they allergies? I mean, hey, it could be. I mean, you know, we don't know. He can't.
Definitely learning.
So we put that in the notes and everything, and still on Thanksgiving, y'all, they brought out a big old slab of ham anyway, y'all. We were so surprised. Like Radai Yahoo was like, "Is that ham?" Because I know we had said that they had these restrictions, and I was like, "Nah, you can smell that. That's ham, bro. That's pork right there. It got a certain smell to it. Like, nah, I gotta eat that out of here." But it's because that's their ritual meat that they eat on Thanksgiving and on Christmas. Hallelujah.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.